This Hawks briefing, let's take you live now to Parliament. Senior reporter Annika Larsen joins us now live. Annika, let's start with this update given on Steinhoff and that ongoing investigation. So the Hawks saying that, in fact, it's too early to identify any suspects. Was that something you found quite bizarre?
Yes, but I do understand where it's coming from, and I felt somewhat sympathetic towards Lieutenant General Lebeya, because he really has taken over the Hawks at a time when its detectives are submerged and drowning really in paperwork and dismantling the architecture of state capture, and then dealing too with the biggest corporate scandal that's hit South Africa's shores in its entire history. You're looking at about 200 billion rand lost from its shareholders, and I think that I phone the Hawks just about once a week, and the sense that I get is that they just don't have the capacity, forensic intelligence inside the department to actually deal with this paper trail and dismantling this commercial crime. They, I think, as I understand it, are going to have to wait for Steinhoff's own forensic audit and investigation that they're doing externally by one of the big auditing firms to be completed. That's only going to happen in December, and only then will they have a chance to really go through those figures and make sure that they have a watertight case against whoever may have been involved or at least implicated. Lebeya saying that, of course, they've got some idea of who the suspects are, but it was just too early, as you said, at this stage. I think it's going to be at least until the middle of next year until we get some kind of possible criminal case going, and that the NPA is happy with. Otherwise, it's all going to be up to civil claims and class action suits coming from abroad.
Annika, surely the name of Marcus Jooste, the former Steinhoff boss, must have come up and must be part of a big part of this investigation and a big part of the suspect list that the Hawks is investigating. Did his name come up in this briefing?
No. And Parliament has tried to get him here on several occasions. The Finance Committee now taking a decision to subpoena him formally, but I believe that the Speaker has taken legal opinion on whether she has the jurisdiction to call a private individual before Parliament to answer questions that could incriminate him in any possible criminal case. So I think at this stage, Marcus Jooste, who's not been charged, he is not officially a suspect, according to Lebeya, is free to come and go as he pleases. He can go to Las Vegas for the weekend if he wants to.
All right, Annika, let's move on from the Steinhoff story and get an update on the issues around the mosque attacks in Durban. I believe that was one of the other issues that the Hawks was giving an update on. There was one particular moment during that part of the update when an EFF MP made some startling allegations regarding the presence of Al-Qaeda arms in South Africa. Just take us through what happened.
Yes, that allegation coming from an EFF MP, to which neither Becky Cele or General Lebeya confirmed or wanted to speak about at all. They didn't say that Al-Qaeda is using South Africa as a transport hub or a money laundering, place as part of their organization. But in terms of Verulam, they did say that there will be a suspect linked to an aborted attempt of a bombing at one mosque, at the Takwa Mosque at the Ghazali Star, Roshni in Durban. He's appearing in court tomorrow and is going to be applying for bail, of which they're going to oppose a 36-year-old man who previously resided at Verulam. And I asked the minister whether there was a link in what's been 10 incidents at mosques in and around the eThekwini Inner North and Durban Central area, and he wouldn't say, but Lebeya did say in his presentation that the 10 incidents are linked. No discussion from the Hawks or the police ministry on whether it has anything to do with Al-Qaeda or inter-religious fighting or upsets within the community.
Annika, let's just go back to the issue of state capture and corruption, which formed a big part of this briefing as well. So 20 witness statements, we're told by Godfrey Lebeya, in the corruption case against Duduzane Zuma, particularly related to this issue of the former finance or the former deputy finance minister being offered the job of finance minister.
That's right. I mean, look, they've got 8 active state capture cases on the go, ranging from Tegeta, that sale of the coal, there's Eskom, there's Estina, there's Sahara, there's Mitsubishi Jonas bribe, there's Homix, there's SAP. There's so many cases, and in nearly all of them, they've said, 3 individuals suspected, but no names were given. Duduzane Zuma was the only one in which witness statements, as many witness statements had been taken. It seems that the Hawks are subpoenaing bank accounts. The Bank of Baroda seems to be a money laundering hub. Certainly that's the allegation, and seems to be the golden thread that links all these allegations. But MPs really upset, saying, how were the Gupta family allowed to be here for 20 years, not raising any suspicion, and then allowed to get the go-ahead to get on their jets and get out of the country as soon as possible. And then also much made of the fact that Duduzane Zuma, who came back to attend his brother's funeral from Dubai, was handcuffed when he appeared in the Commercial Crimes Court.
Now, Annika, I spoke to our colleague Lester Kivitt a little earlier. He was at that briefing by Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan, and the cleanup taking place at state-owned entities. And you mentioned the name the Guptas, and I put this question to Lester as well. Have we had any update, given that the family has been linked so intricately to state capture in South Africa and to billions of rand leaving the country? What's been said about the Gupta's whereabouts and any plans at all regarding extradition?
Very little, and it's also something that really the Justice Department needs to deal with. We don't have an extradition agreement with Dubai, but that doesn't mean, or the UAE, that doesn't mean that there can't be some sort of mutual legal assistance request. As far as I know from the Justice Department, that hasn't been done yet. There needs to be a formal request through DIRCO, the Department of International Relations, before any extradition can be done. One of the problems is that because the charge sheet has not been drawn up yet, you have to draw up a charge sheet and then give that to the country that is cooperating with you. And you can only charge somebody with a crime that is a crime in the country that the particular person is residing in. So I think that they don't want to ask for an extradition yet until they have all their ducks in a row and they know exactly what crimes they're here to be extradited for. Because just say you do get Atal Gupta, for instance, I'm using him as an example, here on a crime of money laundering, and then you want to add another crime of, just say, corruption, you can't do that because you haven't asked for that formally during the extradition handover. So I think it's a complex process. I think they need help, and those proper mutual legal assistance agreements and the cooperation between countries is either going on under the surface and we don't know about it, or at least very quietly.
All right, a busy day at Parliament there. Our senior reporter Annika Larsen keeping us abreast of all those developments.